There we go. We're on.
We're on.
Ready to read. I guess we'll hang out and see how many, if anyone, joins us, and if not, then we can get started.
Sorry.
What are you reading today?
I am reading the second book in the Raven cycle, The Dream Thieves.
Oh, cool.
And I am somewhere in the middle.
Oh, nice.
Have you read it?
For so long, but I've never actually read it. Did you like it? Are you liking it?
I am. It's doing things I did not expect it to do. I'll say that. I knew about this series for a while, and I know that it's not a new series. So I was thinking that, it's probably, the older the series are, the more cliche they are, because they create sort of the backdrop of what everyone else does. But it's really surprising me in so many ways. It's not doing things I expected to do. So I'm always sort of, I feel anxious right now for all the characters, because I have no idea what's going to happen. But it's a good feeling. I prefer that over not caring,
Oh, absolutely. That's what you want in a fantasy novel, surely. It's like some kind of, suspense or excitement. Hello.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you can see the chat as well, but
I can see it. Hi.
Hi.
What are you reading?
I am actually currently reading The Secret Garden for the first time, because I've never read it.
Oh, wow.
I bought it for the book club that I help run sometimes when we're actually organized. There's another hello. Hi.
Hello.
But the month that we chose to read this book, the book club fell apart and we never read it.
No. How far into it are you?
I think I'm about a third of the way in. And I'm about that far in. So quarter-ish to a third-ish.
I don't remember how long is the book.
It's definitely not long. Like it's definitely a kid's classic. Like I read all of that in one session, basically. So I'm expecting this not to take too long. This is clearly a good time for quite a few people. There's a lot of highs.
Earl Grey books. I love that name so much. I actually have my own Earl Grey right here with some oat milk.
I also have tea here, so I'm all ready to go.
Oh, I love that top. It's so cute. Yeah. Milena, hello.
A bunny. Oh, look, more people. Nice. Hi, everyone.
Thank you for agreeing to do this so last minute. And for us finding time that works for both Russia and Australia. You're so far away from me. It's wild.
It feels so weird being Australia, because it's like opposite ends with America and Europe, basically. So like I have to do things really early in the morning for America or really late at night for anyone in like Europe area. So I'm like, cool. So I just gotta like prep 2 different live streams at all times so that I can talk to all my
friends. It just happened that today was a little unexpected, but I feel like what we planned initially around me like 10 a.m. and for you, I think that's like 5 p.m. That's not too late. I feel like that's a good time.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask. Sorry. You're in winter right now.
Yes, just going starting spring. The weather's just started warming up over the last couple of weeks, which has been really nice.
How cold does it get in Melbourne?
Not very, compared to some places. I'd say the average across winter is usually sort of like 13-ish degrees during the day. Like it doesn't get to freezing temperatures. Yeah, Celsius.
Gotcha. So not even less than 10.
Like it depends. I'd say if you kind of averaged it out, that would probably be what I'd say it is mostly. I could probably Google it and find out properly, but that's just my gut. Either way, it's not freezing. It's cold but not freezing. The only problem is that Australia seems to like to pretend that it's warmer than it is. So all of our houses are shit. Like there's no heating and there's no insulation, and everyone's like, no, it's fine. The weather's nice. We don't need, protection against the weather.
I actually had the same thing in Italy. It doesn't get that cold. I mean, colder than in Australia. But I remember so well spending a winter in Milan, and the houses are not built for cold temperatures. So unlike Russia, where we are ready for the cold, it's so hot inside all winter. It's like tropics.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I was having a much harder time in Italy because it's always cold inside. So inside the house, it was 13 degrees. That's not a very comfortable temperature to be in. And we slept under 3 blankets. So yeah, I feel like it doesn't have to be freezing to be cold. It's still cold, especially if the buildings are not built for that.
Exactly. That's definitely it's definitely what Melbourne does, at least. Like our houses are, it definitely is 13 degrees inside all throughout winter here as well.
But that also probably means that you are more, you deal better with cold than we do, because we only are cold when we're outside, and then we run where we need to go, and then we're hot again. You have to live in this temperature.
Gotta deal with it. Gotta breathe that 13-degree air. Just live in it. It'll be fine.
I remember again in Milan being so surprised by Italians who were walking in light jackets, and we Russians wearing just giant winter jackets, being like, why is no one dressed appropriately? Yeah, so I feel like maybe because they have to deal with the houses not being warm enough, like their bodies are more used to it.
Like more used to it.
Yeah, maybe. People make fun of me as like the Russian who is always cold, so I don't know.
I don't want to be cold. I hate feeling cold, so I'd be rugging up a lot as well, ready to go.
How long do you want to do the sprints?
I was just about to ask you that. I don't mind. Do we want to start off with a quicker or like a shorter one to get us into the groove of it?
Sure. How long are you thinking of doing the live? How long is the live?
I don't mind. Sorry. I mean,
it's much later for you.
I have nowhere else to be.
Well, you have to go to bed at some point. I think like an hour and 45 minutes, something like that, would be my maximum, just because I have to go out afterwards. So cool. That's just my personal limit. If we end earlier, that's fine. If we do the whole thing, I don't care. I know that it's late where you are, so I'm worried about your sleep schedule.
Well, until bedtime. That's fine. I'll just log off and go straight to bed. It's all good.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Hour and a half to hour and 45-ish sounds pretty good.
Do you want to do 15 or 10 minutes? How long for the first?
What time is it? It's 10 past now. Oh, it's such an annoying time. Let's go with 10 minutes is it like 8 past for you as well? Or like an 8 minute? Yeah. So we'll start at like 10 and then go from 10.
Okay.
We're gonna keep things neat.
It's gonna be great.
The numbers need to match.
Hello.
Those.
What are you reading right now?
What we're reading right now.
You go first.
As I said just before, I'm reading The Secret Garden tonight. This is my first time reading it.
And I'm reading the sequel to Ravencycle, The Dream Thieves. That's what's happening.
Correct. We're both very excited. If you guys are reading along too, let us know what you're reading in the comments.
Yes, please.
And we're going to start in 1-ish minute.
Just hold your finger above the click.
Yeah. This is what I was doing when I was doing my writing sprints as well. I was like down to the second, ready to go. So easygoing. you know. Anyway, yeah.
It's time.
The delay is really slow. It's time?
Yep.
It's time. All right, 10 minutes. Let's go. Whoop.
Hello.
Big one. Yes, this boy is making reading very hard, aren't you?
Oh, so cute.
Why don't you come say hi to the camera? Oh, that was blurry. Wow. Look, you broke the camera. Wow, did you go? Hopefully better than me.
I did like 3 pages, 5, maybe 5. I don't remember where I started. It was somewhere in the middle.
It was a quick sprint. That's fine. I did. I actually got to start from the start of a chapter, so that helps. 1, 2.
Yeah, I usually read on my commute, and I left off in the middle of a scene, and I was trying to remember what is happening. Who are these people again?
When you're doing something like that, like reading while traveling, because you don't get to choose when you stop reading, so you just kind of have to. Hi. You're being a menace. Well, apparently I read 9 pages, but they are very small pages, so I don't think like it's like a half.
That's a beautiful edition, by the way.
Thanks. I didn't choose it, but I'll say thank you anyway. I quite like these ones. There's a whole collection of kids' classics that all have their William Morris wallpaper designs that they've used for the covers, and then they have like these cute little illustrations on them. So I have this one and Alice in Wonderland at the moment. No, kind of. I think I'm going to more. They're really pretty. What was the last sentence you read?
Do I know? Do I know?
That same question for anyone in the chat as well. I can see a few people that are also reading. Can you take it off the couch, please? Not on the couch. Put it on the ground. On the ground. Good boy.
That's so cute. I found it. It says, he was not Gansey. He did not dazzle. He was a pretender with a flute of false champagne in his slender hand made from dust.
Damn.
Right?
That's a good sentence.
That is a good sentence. What about you?
It's really not a very exciting sentence. It is, the rent of our cottage is only 1 3/10, and it's like pulling eye teeth to get it. It's just talking about the price of rent.
Interesting.
There were some other lovelier sentences happening earlier in the chapter. Not that one.
Where are you in the story?
She's just found the secret garden in this chapter. This is her first time going into the garden.
Has she met, I don't remember his name, the boy?
No, she hasn't found the boy yet.
Do you know about the boy?
She doesn't. She hasn't met him yet. I know about the boy. Okay. I know the story. I just haven't read it. That's next, I'm assuming. She's spent some time wandering like the corridors and hearing noises, but she hasn't. Go away.
Oh, I read it so long ago. I have like a very vague memory of it. And I recently did watch the latest movie with Colin Firth.
Ooh, I didn't know there was a new movie.
Yeah, he plays the man.
Is it like the man? Like the grumpy man?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
And I mean, it was a fine movie. It was very beautiful. It's beautifully done, but I don't know, I felt nothing.
I think that's the way with a lot of these adaptations of like old-timey classics. Some of them are just very pretty, but not much more.
Yeah.
I think there's a few Jane Austen adaptations like that as well that I'm like, yeah, look, you're wearing lovely dresses and things, and the scenery is gorgeous, but I forget the movie as soon as I've finished with it.
Yeah, sometimes you get distracted by these things. I mean, it's great to have great costumes and for it to be historically accurate and all of that, but sometimes I feel like the image takes away from the humanness of it all. Like if you just look at it as, oh, this is people in weird clothes doing stuff.
Project.
Yeah.
Hi.
What is your? Oh, he's so cute. Is he hungry?
Yeah, he wants to play tug. He's decided that it's playtime. I'm not allowed to read.
What is your least favorite Jane Austen adaptation?
Adaptation? Oof. It's so funny you should ask that because I'm actually going to be filming a video ranking all of the Jane Austen adaptations tomorrow.
Spoilers.
I think my least favorite one might be the Emma adaptation that has Gwyneth Paltrow in it, mainly because I don't like Gwyneth Paltrow. So I just found it really hard to watch her. Yeah, I think that's it. Closely followed by that one weird adaptation of Mansfield Park. There's like one.
I don't know if we're talking about the same one, but there's one that I watched. It looks like a student film.
It's really bizarre. I get the feeling it's probably the same one.
Yes. And it's like you are wearing costumes and you're in the right location, but who filmed this? It just feels so awkward.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I feel like Mansfield Park got done dirty both times because I think there's 2 adaptations of it at the moment that I know of. Like there's 2 movies and I watched both of them and both of them aren't great. And I just, clearly no one cares about it enough to turn it into a good movie.
Isn't there a new one that they're planning to do? Or am I confusing? I don't remember. I remembered. Sorry.
They're doing one for Persuasion that's coming out, I think, next year, maybe the year after.
Is that the one with Dakota Johnson?
Maybe. It has, is it Henry Golding? From, yeah. It has him in it. I'm thrilled. I'm so excited. I'm so ready.
That's such a bizarre cast. I can't wait to see it.
It's beautiful.
I find the Sense and Sensibility movie with Emma Thompson to be awkward for me. I don't know. I hate Kate Winslet's hair there. It's just I cannot take it seriously. And then I don't understand the pairings there. I feel like she does not fall for Captain, what's his name?
That's Sense and Sensibility is probably my least favorite Jane Austen book. So all of them are already kind of at a disadvantage for me, like any adaptation. I can't get behind the love stories. I can't get behind the pairings at all. Like, I don't know. I read it and I was like, I don't want any of you to end up with anyone. You're all horrible people and you need to grow up.
No, I like the book, but in the movie, I just don't get it. The age difference, it's too big. You barely ever talk to each other. And her hair is not okay.
No, I totally feel that. I mean, the age difference probably is that bad in the book as well. If you actually did the maths of it. And there's a terrible age difference too, if you actually think about it too hard. Which I try not to.
And it would be fine if they had a human connection and they talked, but he just
they just
her wow. It's awkward and creepy.
But Emma Thompson is an absolute star, and I will support her in anything all the time.
Yes.
That one iconic moment when everyone is crying and she just sits down on the stairs and starts drinking a cup of tea. I'm just like, you are my idol. I feel seen.
Yeah, she's so cool. And she did the screen script. What is that word?
Oh, cool.
I think she did. Yeah, for that movie. She wasn't just an actress. She wrote that movie.
Nice. Also, I've noticed I think we have matching Fitbits. Which way am I going? This way.
Oh, maybe. There you go.
Anyway, should we do some more reading?
Yes. This is a good time for it. Yes.
How many minutes do you want?
Let's
15,
do more.
20?
15.
15? All right, let's do it while it's still past. And that's it. The sunshine looks so nice where you are. I love it. You're still muted.
It's been very hot and humid for the past 2 weeks maybe, and today it's warm and it's not too hot and it's not too humid. It's almost a little cool, which feels so good.
Relief.
Yes. How did you do?
How did I do? I can't tell now because I didn't start at the start of a chapter. I did okay. I think I did maybe like 12 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 pages.
You're so fast.
It's an easy book. You can tell it's a kid's book, but it's nice. I thought that was a good point to stop, though, because the last sentence that I just read was, "I believe I should die."
Nice. You can only go up from there.
How did you go?
I did like 11 pages, and
That's pretty good.
Things just happened, and I just got very anxious. There's a character who really likes racing, and they're going very fast in the car, and it's describing his feeling of being in a very fast car, and I hate fast cars. I hate going fast. I like safety. I like control. So just reading that was it's like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So yeah.
I didn't know that the series was set in, like, is it set in our world with cars and things? Oh,
yeah. It's in America, in Virginia.
Fascinating. Yep.
Yeah, and it has like magic, but the world at large is normal. Like there is underlying magic, like you can find it, but it's very much abnormal. So it is based in our world with people who seem to have some kind of abilities. Let's call them that.
Abilities. Nice.
There's a lot of Latin in the books, which I did not know, and it's making me very happy. So there you go.
Happy. They're not talking about the books that they're reading, which we have someone painting, and we have someone
so cool. Reading. What are you painting?
Yeah, I want to know what you're painting too. And someone reading The Empress of Salt and Fortune, which I've never heard of.
You haven't? It's a short. I think it would be a novella. That I believe is not based in. I think it's referencing Chinese folklore or mythology, something like that. I've not read it, but I've heard other people talk about it.
Nice. Maybe the reader can tell us more about it as well if she's still here.
I was gonna say I watched one of your recent lives and I completely forgot. I remember watching your videos. I think it's an older video when you talked about doing the book plates. I think they're called.
Oh yeah. These I've got one in this one. These things.
Yes. So cool. And you were talking about it in the live, and I completely forgot you do them. When you first decided to try it out, are you using them the way you wanted them to be used, or is it convenient? Do you like it? I
do. Setting them up has not been convenient, which is why I've only done it to like half of my books so far. But once they're in, I think it'll be much smoother going. So basically what I've done is I just have like a stack ready to go. So when I buy a book, I can just like put it in without having to put any effort into it, basically.
Oh,
yeah,
I thought
and
you
it's
would
really
like read the book and then when you're done, you put it in and you write
no, so I do both. So I put it in when I buy the book, because that way, like if someone gives me a book as like a Christmas present or a birthday present, I can write that in here. So like I have a little section where I can say that it was a gift from, you know, like my mom or from my friend or something like that. So I've got that, and then I'll write more once I've read the book as well. Yeah, and I think it's kind of fun because then I can also see like some books I get given and then I don't read them for like 5 years. And then other books I buy and read immediately. And so like that's all there on the book plate. I can be like, oh yes, I impulse bought this book and basically, you know, read it on the way home.
Yeah. That's so fun. And I really like the design that you made.
Thank you. I really like them too.
I have a dream of one day creating my own like stamp, ExLibris stamp.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
With like a crest. I want to come up with a crest. I want something fun and obnoxious and way too complicated and complex. I want an eagle to be there. I want a shield.
I love it. Yeah, that would be very cool.
Right?
I always hoped that I'd turn these into a stamp as well, but it got too hard to figure out how to organize that, so I ended up just printing it. But to get a stamp
are complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like one day. One day I'd like to do that.
Like the dream library, right?
Yes. It's just I don't know. Sometimes I don't like to keep all books that I read. I'm very careful with what I buy because I don't want to. Because books are expensive, and if I'm not sure if I will love this book, I usually like I buy physical books that I either really want to read, like really, really want to read, or I'm okay with not reading but owning them, like some classics. Like eventually I'll want to read this. But then I feel like I want the option to sell them or do something with them afterwards if I hate the book. So that would be so stressful to me to glue the thing in before reading it. Because what if I don't like it?
That's fine. I try to justify it by just thinking about how many, like if I buy a book from a secondhand bookshop and it has writing in it, that actually makes me really happy. So I'm like, maybe, you know, even if I do give the book away, I might be bringing some, you know, joy or interest to someone else, and that's fine, right?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. We don't really have a lot of, well, it's hard to find English books. Secondhand English books are even harder to find. So,
yeah. We've got a few people giving updates as well. Someone's reading The Poppy War, which I've seen all over Instagram recently, but I know nothing about.
Well, that also is, I think, referencing the Japanese wars. Oh, no. I should not say things I'm not sure about. But I've heard that it's pretty brutal. It's heart-wrenching. So good luck.
Maybe Reads can tell us a bit more about it. I don't know anything about it. And then we've got someone who's just finished their chapter, which good job.
Kieran. Good for you.
Kieran, did you say?
Kieran, yes.
Yeah, cool. Nice. Good job, everyone. Good reading.
Good reading. I was going to ask you something else, but I forgot what I wanted to ask.
Oh, sorry.
Are you enjoying your book so far?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not loving it. I'm not blown away by it, but I'm having a decent time. I think I find books like this really hard to read, like The Secret Garden and like Peter Pan as well, like those old English classics, just because like it's not necessarily their fault because they kind of were written in the wrong time, but they're always just vaguely racist. And it's just, you know,
Always.
like I just read sentences and I'm like, that wouldn't fly nowadays. Like you can't say that. So there's stuff like that makes it a bit more uncomfortable to read. But other than that, yeah, I'm enjoying it. There's some good funny lines and stuff, like little witty lines and stuff in it, which is pretty good.
And what is the last? I remember, oh my God, I have so much information mixed up in my head. I think it was you who talked about how you took a break from creating videos and reading, I think, for some time. Was that you?
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel like that's been happening a lot with a lot of YouTubers that I'm friends with as well.
I was gonna say, I do that too.
Yeah. I mean, like I've seen a lot of videos where they're like, I disappeared for a while, sorry. But I was definitely one of them. Yeah, I took a break for basically a year-ish, I think, a year and a bit. Not deliberately, it just kind of happened just because of life and stuff. It's been a rough few years here in Melbourne. I just only started getting back on track in the last, I don't know, like 6 months or something, I think. But yeah. And as usual, when things go crap in everywhere else in your life, reading and stuff also just kind of drops off because you don't have the energy to do any of the fun things and stuff. So that happened as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're going back to reading. I mean, I don't have the same experience just because it's not that everything went bad. When I didn't have anything going on, I was way more active. And I think I needed more escapism, so I would read a lot more. And then when my real life picked up, suddenly I don't have time to go into reading, to go into a different land and live there. I have stuff to do and I have to figure things out and I have to be an adult, which I don't want to be.
That's very true as well.
Yeah, so I kind of gave up on everything for a while just to find a balance, to understand how much of my life can I give to this side of me. Because for a while I couldn't do it. I feel like I'm a very all or nothing person.
Me too. I'm a big struggler in that. Every time I find a new hobby, I'm like, cool, time to just like live and breathe this hobby for a while.
Yes.
Because my housemate is the same as well. So like I have no one here to kind of balance me out and be like, Jazz, maybe you shouldn't put all of your life into this thing, because both of us will discover hobbies and we just enable each other and we're like, do it all night. Do it all day.
That's so fun though. But I was worried for a while that the booktube and bookstagram would be that for me, that, oh, I was so into it and then it will be gone. Because I have hobbies that have like simmered down a little bit, but I still really enjoy them and I find time to do them. Not all the time, but I do. But there are some hobbies that I don't care anymore, but I used to be all about them. And I was so worried that, oh, I will never read a book again. But no, I'm back.
Well, I'm glad you hopefully you're finding a balance at least.
Yeah. What are some of the hobbies that you went all in with? I'm curious.
Crochet. I did a lot of crocheting a few years ago. Like I would crochet on my breaks. I would take crochet into work and do it on my like tea breaks and lunch breaks and things. Gardening, my tea business, like making tea.
You made tea.
Yeah. The most recent one is cosplay. I recently got into cosplay and my housemate got into that as well at the same time. So we both spent a month just like sewing every single night to make costumes and things.
That's great. You have a partner to help you out.
Yeah. That was pretty fun. Yeah. We did that because we were out of lockdown for a bit and we could actually go to like cons and expos and things, so we made some cosplays for that, and then we went back into lockdown and both of us were like, well, this hobby's dead to me now.
I mean, you can cosplay with each other.
Yeah. We'll be fine. We'll get back into it once the world opens up a bit more and we can go and do stuff with the cosplay. But yeah, we just sort of like, okay, time to just sit at home and not do anything again.
That's so creative and so fun. Oh, I remember we don't really celebrate Halloween, and it's by the end of October, it's cold enough that you need a winter coat. So it was never like, oh, wear a costume and go out somewhere. Before we had a car, that would mean get in a winter's jacket, go to the bus stop, go on the bus to the subway, travel 40 minutes to the city center. Like, and so what I would do, but I really like the idea of dressing up and doing makeup and all of that. And I would make a costume, well, not make a costume, I would do something, and I would sit in front of Skype and call every person I contacts. I would video call them, be like, look at me, look what I did.
That's so cool.
I did not want to go out.
That's a good idea. Maybe we should try that here. Just get dressed up so we can call our friends and show off.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
Well, there you go. I would love to see you in a what are you cosplaying?
So the ones that I did, oh, my phone's like just about to die, but I'll see if I can grab some photos. The first thing that I ever did was a group of cosplayers in Melbourne got together to do a Disney princesses, but as punk. So they're all like punk Disney princesses. So that was the first cosplay I ever did, which I got invited to the group like 2 weeks before it happened as well, which was pretty hectic.
Great time.
Then, yeah, I'll see if I can.
Who were you?
I don't know if we can. The direction is really hard. There we go.
Oh, really, this is Aurora.
Yeah, yes, that's it. That's
who I was. Looks so cool.
I should post. I'll try and post some on my Instagram at some point. I just feel I can't figure out how to sort of slot it into the photos of books, but so I did that one.
I love that.
And then I've only done 2 others, and they were less people recognize these, but I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it very well, but I did this one, which is this way. There we go. Closer, this way.
Yeah.
There we go. So that's a character called Bee from a little internet cartoon called Bee and Puppy Cat. And then I also did a video game character as well.
That's so cool.
There we go. This one's my favorite one, and no one recognizes it, but I was so proud of it because it had like really cool makeup as well. And I was like,
you have lenses? You had like white lenses on?
No, that's my eyelids. I had my eyes, like I was looking down there, but I have like blue eyeshadow with tears and things going down my face, and I was like so proud of it.
That's so cool.
They're the only ones we've done so far.
How long does it usually take to?
Sorry, go.
Sorry. How long does it take to figure out? I mean, I would guess if it means like a costume, you would need to find fabric and figure out how to sew it and stuff. I know nothing about sewing, so this would be a new world for me.
Neither do I. The only sewing I know how to do is like the weird broken version of sewing that I did for these cosplays, which I was just making up as I went along. But like I said, the first one that I did, I basically had a week and a half to get that one ready. So I was doing that like every night after work for that week and a half. And then the other ones, I think I did them in 2 or 3 weeks because again, we didn't have a lot of time. It really depends. Some people spend months and months or like up to a year on their costumes, which is amazing. And like, I'd love to be able to get to the point where I could do that, like where I was good enough at creating the details that I could spend that time on it. But at the moment, I'm like such a like scrapbooky, like just like a mess of a cosplayer that I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to sew together these scraps of fabric and it'll be fine. Off we go.
We have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated by cosplaying because, I mean, that's so much work. It's so much work.
So many hobbies at once as well. Like it's not just sewing, but it's like learning how to craft and paint and hairstyle and makeup, like so much stuff going on. I didn't realize how intense it was going to be when I started.
That's amazing. Oh, it makes me so excited.
Join
Oh,
us.
there's nothing I can do when it comes
Just
to
hold
sewing.
me
Last
back.
time I sewed anything was, wait, what did I do? Oh, when I was obsessed with Jane Austen, again, All or Nothing. I was like 14. I was obsessed with everything Jane Austen, all the movies, all the books, everything. And what?
Did you make a dress?
No. No, I made a little what's it called? Like a sachet, like a small bag.
Oh, cute.
And I went on a countryside walk and I found beautiful, not beautiful, but great smelling flowers and stuff. And I
Oh,
dried them and I put them in this little, it was so crooked because I
so
did it by
cute.
hand. And I put in a little thing and I kept it in my closet for like to make my clothes smell good, but it did not smell. It didn't smell like
Oh,
anything, to be honest. And it was so
yeah.
crooked, but it had a ribbon. Yeah, I was. That's as far as I can go. I just like the idea that I'm sitting here and I'm doing this little craft,
Yeah,
like
you're doing
they
it like
would
a proper
do.
little Austen lady. You need
Yeah,
someone reading a book by the fireplace and
yeah. It doesn't have to be pretty.
love it.
Or someone new. Hello.
Yes. Yes, yes. All right. Should we try a bit more reading before you have to go? How much longer do we have? Like half an hour.
Yes. We can do 20 minutes.
Why not? Let's do it. Go out with a bang.
Go with a bang. If you're reading with us, and if you have not said what you're reading, tell us what you're reading.
Let us know. Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to do 20 minutes of reading. Sorry to everyone that just joined in time for us to mute ourselves, but all right, let's go. I lost track of time, but I think that's got to be 20-ish minutes, right?
Yeah, I just finished the chapter 2.
Nice. Good timing. What was the first sentence you read, and what was the last sentence you read?
Ooh.
If you can remember.
Let me find it.
Both of mine are very bleak. I'll share mine while you're looking.
Yes.
The first sentence was that I believe I should die, because that was where I started from last session. And then the last one was someone was crying in that room. So, we're skipping all the sentence and reading through the documents. Also,
the sun?
Yeah, it's got to be. This chapter is called, where is it? I only just started this chapter. I think it's called, it's called I Am Colin. So he's coming.
The first one was probably not working.
Good.
Which makes no sense. And the last one was he could feel it.
Cool.
Yeah, and I actually read like 20 pages.
Nice.
Why is this taking me so long?
Those pages have got to be, that bigger, more words on them. This one, I read, what's that, 26 pages. So not far off.
Yeah. Oh, so many things are happening. It's like I am past the halfway point, and I'm almost, when everything is starting to go very wrong.
Yeah, it's like
it's not at its peak yet, but it's like it's tumbling down. So, ugh. Yikes.
I feel that.
Someone's reading Hamlet.
Yeah, I was just about to put that up on the screen. 20 minutes of Hamlet. Nice. Please also tell us the first and last sentence that you read, because
yes. And are you reading it out loud? I feel like Hamlet would be good to read out loud.
Yeah, most Shakespeare. Whenever I'm reading Shakespeare, I always end up just like muttering it under my breath to myself.
Yes, always.
Also, ever since you mentioned that there's a movie adaptation of this with Colin Firth in it, I can't. Every time I read about the grumpy old man, I'm picturing this Colin Firth. It's making me so happy. I'm thrilled.
When was this book published?
Oh, ages ago. Let me have a quick look. It'll be in the front somewhere. Where's the publishing details? Okay. First published in 1951.
I remember in the movie there were flashbacks to the mothers, her mother and his wife. And I remember being very surprised by what they were wearing. They were very like 20s, 30s silk dresses. And I just, for some reason, I always thought this was way earlier than this. Oh, we have a first sentence.
First sentence.
I like him not, nor stands it safe with us.
That must be early on then, is it? Yeah. Well, that's the first sentence. Anyway, speaking of like books that you expect to be set older than they are, I had the same problem with Rebecca. I'm not sure if you've read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier.
I really want to, but I can't find an edition that I like. That's the thing.
I had that problem taken away from me because I was given my copy of Rebecca by my parents. And it's not a pretty edition, but at least it means I didn't have to try and choose and find one myself. However, mayhaps my choice were never begun.
Nice.
Both of them beautifully bleak, as Hamlet should be.
Beautifully bleak. You have the one with the like red rose, right?
I can grab it. I don't have a pretty one. I'm just gonna go get it.
That was Act 3, Scene 2 to Act 4, Scene 3.
Oh wow.
Oh, right in the bleakness. It's about to get worse.
This one. So it's very
the rose.
plain.
It's very 80s. I feel like that's such an 80s cover.
Yeah, it's like a very dated cover style, that's for sure.
It reminds me of some like soap operas. I don't know
The
why.
writing is fucking tiny.
Wow.
Look at that. Yeah, I think because I really did love that book, I think I'll try and find a nice edition of it as well to have. But that one surprised me because I was expecting it to be like gothic, old-timey, and it's actually set in like the 1940s or something, like really recent. So that.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for the movie and I was like, oh, this is in the 20th century. Okay.
Have you both read Hamlet? I don't want to spoil it. Followed by someone was just by murdered by someone.
This is the plot of Hamlet, right?
Yeah, Hamlet in a nutshell.
The premise and the plot is that someone keeps being murdered by someone else. Oh, she didn't like Rebecca.
Look, it's a lot. I really liked it, but I know quite a few people that didn't, and you have to prepare for frustration. There's a lot of.
I remember someone saying that it's a lot of her being inside of her head and imagining things, so it's not very like plot heavy.
It's very limited in terms of its narrator because it's all seen through her eyes, and she is very naive and she doesn't notice a lot. So that can be really frustrating. Because there's enough details in there that the reader picks up on what's going to happen pretty much immediately, and you're like, shit's going to go wrong. But she doesn't notice that, and she's just sort of talking about things, and you're just like, stop. Like, bad things are going to happen. Pay attention. And she doesn't. And yeah. But I still really liked it. Anyway. Some good
I
stuff.
recently read a well, it's not a murder mystery, but it's a mystery. It has a murder in it. And I got so frustrated. It's set in, I think, also the 20s in London.
What a good
and halfway, right? And I was so mad because it's just like, have you never heard a true crime podcast? You're not getting it. That's not the MO of the killer. You're just like, don't you know anything? Like, of course they didn't. How would they know? But I'm like,
that's funny.
After so many seasons of so many shows.
You're like, don't do that. Listen to the signs. Look at the red flags. They're there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, that's called a psychopath. Run. Oh, yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Rebecca's definitely one of those ones as well. You're just like, girl, please notice. I think my favorite thing about all of it, though, and I think it's the thing that everyone kind of talks about as one of the like biggest literary sort of moments in Rebecca, is that the main character never has a name. She never gets named. So you never actually, like, you never know who she is. And the character that is called Rebecca isn't her, like that's someone else. And so that kind of, it's just really interesting because I don't think I've ever really come across another book that does that, where you never get to know who she is. She's just some nameless little chit who doesn't know what she's doing.
Is it in third person?
I think it's in first person. So she's just talking about herself. Yeah, it's in first person.
Then why would she name herself?
Yeah, she doesn't.
Hello, my name.
Her memories and her experiences. But even when people are talking to her, they never mention her name.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really
what
cool.
does that mean? Maybe she doesn't feel like she has a personality.
Yeah,
that can mean so many things. So that's such an interesting thing. I was spoiled a little bit. I was spoiled not by Rebecca. How would I say that in English? The Rebecca plotline was spoiled to me.
Spoiled by Rebecca. Love it.
Because when Taylor Swift's album, I think the last one, when it came out, there was like a video on YouTube, like all the songs that Taylor is referencing in her latest album. And I knew most of the references, but then the guy was just like, and then Rebecca and this line. And it was like a very, very spoilery thing, which I did not want to know. So F you guy for doing it to me.
Oh, that's rough. It's hard when you're not prepared for it as well. So you can't be like, okay, I know there's a spoiler coming. I'm going to skip this part. It's like already, you've already before you even know.
I mean, he was talking about classics in a way that like, well, we all know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I will be mad with you.
Yes, read it so you can be mad with the rest of us.
I love being mad with you.
There you go. You can have a buddy read.
Yay. Yeah, if I can find a good edition, because it's either this one, the small paperback with a tiny font, or like a very expensive hardback. And I don't know how much I'm willing to spend money on a big hardback.
Like it or not. It makes it hard.
Yeah. Also, I would need to wait.
Once you read it, you can watch the movie adaptation from last year, which was mostly awful, except for one character who is, I have the biggest crush on her.
Is that the woman of the house?
Yes, the housekeeper, Mrs. Danvers.
I don't know if it's just me watching your stories or if other people were talking about it. But I know that
I think a lot of people have talked about it. And it's like the pinned tweet on my Twitter profile is just me being like, Mrs. Danvers. She's it.
Nice. Oh, do you have a library? Support libraries. I want to support libraries, but I live in Russia. We have a lot of English books in our libraries. Most local libraries here don't. We have like a separate library, which is the library of foreign books, but it's mostly academic and it's connected to different embassies of different countries and their cultural centers. So yeah. So if you want to learn a language, that culture center of that embassy will send you to this library. It's like a whole thing. So yeah, for me, it's a little hard to get books. That's why.
A bit hard to find. Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. That's why I'm so careful with buying books, because they're more expensive.
What do you need? We'll get them in the mail to you.
Oh, I am actually planning a trip to Europe. I'll be not specific about it at the end of August. And I was on Amazon trying to find what books could I buy here that would send it to a European country that would not send to Russia. Just like anything that I can get here. But
when you're visiting.
Yeah, but it's just as expensive, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Thank you.
Second-hand book websites. Yeah, there's not a lot. Not a lot of people speak English well here, so you can find secondhand English books, but again, very limited selection. A lot of murder mysteries, a lot of romances, and people love Stephen King. And what's the name of the guy? John Grisham. I see those all the time. All the time. People just buy all the books.
Stephen King, I kind of expected, but John Grisham seems like an odd one to me to just be like really popular.
I just know his name because I see it all the time when I'm browsing the secondhand stuff. How's COVID situation in your countries? Sri Lanka, and it's getting pretty bad currently. Thank you. Wait, how do you pronounce the country in English?
I would say Sri Lanka.
Yeah, we say Sri Lanka. I wonder if it's correct.
The worst part about this is that this is on chat, so we can't even get told.
Yeah. Well, you go first. You have a more dramatic situation.
Yeah, well, funny you should ask that, because I'm in lockdown now and have been for, this current lockdown has only been for just over a week, but it's our 6th lockdown in Melbourne. And it's like, I think the 4th one this year so far. So yeah, and it's actually, I feel weirdly lucky in spite of it though, because it's not actually that bad, but the reason why it's not that bad is because of the lockdowns. So it's like a really awkward double-edged sword where it feels crap because you're stuck at home and you're living this lockdown life, but then it's also, you feel safe because there haven't been many deaths and there haven't been very many really bad cases, and it's basically because we're there we go. Candy is also in Melbourne with me. We've never actually officially met in person, so she's reminding me of the good old times about a week ago when we were free for 8 days before we were back in lockdown again.
8
But yeah,
days, wow.
it was people in Victoria are joking about it because they often call these snap lockdowns, where they make a decision basically at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you go into lockdown by midnight that night. So they call them lockdowns. And so people are joking about the fact that we're no longer having snap lockdowns, we're having snap freedoms, where we'll get to be free for a few days.
You get 1 hour, run.
Everyone bolts to the shops and to the cafes, and then you go back home again.
That must be so hard on the economy and all the small businesses, and like, wow.
Yeah, it has been really rough. Yeah, exactly this. We genuinely were planning a bookish catch up, and then we've just been, it's been a year. It's been a year and a half of not really being able to go out and do stuff now. And yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely still rough, but I think it has been nice that a lot of people are putting effort into trying to support small businesses as much as possible, especially like local communities and things. Like a lot of our shops and things in the area have, like, they're probably not doing great, but like people are still like really actively trying to buy from them and support them and to help keep them afloat and stuff, even with all of this happening. But when those snap lockdowns happen, it's really hard because like anywhere that sells food just has, like, they've got all their prepped food that they were going to be selling the next day that they can't sell. So they just have like a whole shop worth of like bread or cakes or anything like that they just like can't do anything with because they've just got told that they can't sell anything because they're shut down. Yeah.
It's so rough.
And there's this one as well. Yes, me too. I think we all do. And then the most recent one was especially hard because they give us until midnight, and then the most recent one they only gave us until 8 p.m. So it was like 3 hours of panic buying before we had to be at home.
That's so wild.
Yeah. It's been a wild time.
Oh, can you wait 1 second? Someone is at the door. One moment.
Yeah, it makes me sad too. It's rough. But hey, at least we're not fearing for our lives, right? It's the positives.
I'm back.
That was quick.
Yes.
Nice.
It wasn't anyone I knew, so I did not open the door.
Yeah. I think it's good to answer this question. How's everything going over there?
Wait, here?
Yeah.
It's compared to the stories I hear from all over the world, it's not that bad. We had a lockdown in 2020, but in 2021, there's been no lockdowns. People are back at work. We still have to wear masks, but only inside, and it's not as strict anymore. We no longer have to wear gloves anywhere. And people are getting way more relaxed. Too relaxed, I would say. Everything is open, restaurants, cinemas, everything. Yeah, it's kind of like almost back to normal, but always in a mask, and always thinking, should we do that at that time when it's gonna be full of people or not? But again, compared to other countries, we're free to go wherever we want. And yeah, people have raves and go to clubs all the time. We had a different problem. We've developed 3 of our own vaccines pretty early on, but people did not want to get vaccinated. And still the government is like trying to make people go and get a vaccination because people just don't want to. And when me and my sister went to do it, we were like, oh, we need to find a time to go when they're available. And like their schedule is free. You can come anytime, any day. There are no people. People just don't want to because they don't trust it. And there's so many, I mean, you know, there's a lot of trust issues with stuff like this. So yeah, people are just stubborn, but otherwise we're doing pretty well. And a lot of people are traveling again to countries that accept our vaccines.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not everywhere, obviously, but people find ways to get places. Yeah.
There's a lot of that happening here as well. There are so many people that are not necessarily, I mean, there are definitely people also refusing vaccines, but there's a lot of hesitation and stuff as well here in Australia. Yeah. And we have the added struggle of the vaccination is being rolled out by age groups, starting with the oldest and going through to the youngest, and they're currently, it's people in their 40s are eligible and everyone younger isn't eligible. So there's a whole group of people in their 30s and in their 20s that can't go and get vaccinated with the main vaccine, at least. That's with the Pfizer one. But you can if you go and like opt in for the AZ, but no one wants to do that. It's just it's weird vaccination times are happening here.
Wow. Yeah, no, we had a thing where at least in Moscow, our mayor, the plan was to get at least 60% of the people who work not in retail, but in service, to get them vaccinated. And it got a little too wild because people were like, if you don't get vaccinated, you'll get fired, which is also not a great tactic to do. Definitely not. But like
people angry.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, but because people they really don't want to. And I know people who buy like the certificate or whatever that tells you that they are vaccinated. They pay money to buy it instead of getting vaccinated because they don't want to get vaccinated. Like it's that bad. Yes. But in terms of deaths and how many people are ill, we're definitely on a good place now. It does get worse, and it gets worse and better in waves.
This is it. This is what we're dealing with here in Australia is the AZ versus Pfizer argument. Not sure if it's if it'll help, but I got the AZ vaccine about a month ago now, the first one, and have been fine. And yeah, there's I'm not sure. Did you guys have the AZ, the AstraZeneca vaccine in Russia?
No, we have only our own.
Only your own.
That we do. The one that we got, the one is more, I guess, more universal, is called Sputnik.
Okay.
Yes, and that's the one we got. And we had the problems with it because there were a lot of rumors that it affects your reproductive system. Okay. So all the women were scared to do it. Like it can make you infertile and stuff, but it turns out that it's not true. But once one person starts a rumor, and who knows, and you don't want to risk anything, and Anyway.
Well, same here. Yeah, so there were some reports of blood clotting being caused by the AstraZeneca vaccine, which has turned into a huge panic. But the stats on it are the risk of getting the blood clots is 3 in 100,000 people, or something like that. Like it's ridiculously small.
I recall someone saying like when we talk about like condoms or anything, like there's always like a 99% chance that it will work, and there's always like there must be at least 1% that it won't. Why is it okay with everything else that we take, but not with this?
Yeah. Well, the thing that my doctor ended up saying that helped me get the AZ, because you have to opt into it because of the potential for that blood clotting. Like you have to like go and get a doctor's appointment and like say that you are prepared to take the risk and all of that stuff. the way he put it is that the risk of blood clot is actually higher with pretty much any oral contraceptive that most women take anyway. And he's like, have you been on contraceptives in your life? And I was like, yeah, for like 10 years. And he's like, well, there you go. You did that without even worrying about it. You can do the AZ. And I was like, cool. Okay, I'm good.
Oh, and it's so scary because like it's your body, but it's been, all the vaccines have not been here for that long, and who knows, and all of that.
Yeah, look, if
go.
it was immediately available, I would probably have taken it as well. The Pfizer's the one that doesn't have the risk of blood clots.
That's the one in America, right?
I think so, yeah, and here as well.
So yeah, I will be traveling, but I am careful about stuff. I always wear my mask. I always have gloves with me when I go out. It's super uncomfortable when it's hot, but I still do it. So yeah, we're being careful.
When you go traveling then.
What?
Hopefully it'll be a bit cooler when you go traveling then.
Well, no, because I'm going on a vacation. I don't want it to be cold.
Not too cold, just not too hot for gloves.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between freezing and too hot to wear gloves in here.
Yes. So yeah, we're being careful. I'm also I don't like crowds. I don't like to go out. I don't like when it's loud music. When it's dark, it's loud and there's like strobing lights. That makes me so sleepy. I don't know how people do it. I think I would sleep in a club. If I went to a club, I would have the best night sleeping. So yeah.
I wouldn't go to sleep, but I've never been much of a clubbing person.
No.
Totally relate.
That's why we're here on BookTube.
You don't join BookTube because you're into clubbing.
I was telling my sister about the live today just to be like, I will be doing that. Try to text me, not call me, all of that. And she was like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's a live with reading sprints. And she's like, what does that mean? I was like, we're gonna just put a timer on and sit and read in silence. And it was like a long pause. And she was just like, you people are weird.
It's very hard to explain to people.
Like, why would anyone watch that?
Because they're reading too. We're all
Yes.
This is absolutely the time of the introverts and all the introverted hobbies.
Oh, I have to run.
Hey, it must be time.
But thank you so much for hosting this on your channel. This was so fun.
Thank you for joining. Now we know that a time that works. Well, sorry, I didn't sentence very well. Now that we know that we have a time that works, we should do this again, is what I was going to try and say.
Yes. Yeah. And I hope you have a good night.
Thanks.
And that you end up loving the book. Though I don't know if I want you to love The Secret Garden or not. It's okay. I've places. But I hope you enjoy the reading experience, is what I was saying.
Yeah, thank you. You too. I hope things get less stressful.
Me too. Thank you, everyone who came and read with us and spent time with us.
Yes, thank you, everyone. We'll see you again soon.
Yes.